The Illuminati, lizard people, secret societies, aliens, the world's end, and worst of all, an airport. Today we'll be talking about the Denver airport and all the conspiracies that encompass it. Before we get into that, if you're new here, hello, and if you're returning, it's good to see you again. Alright, let's get into it. So first we're going to be talking about some of the facts about the Denver airport. This will give us some context clues for the conspiracies and weird stories that come out of it later. If you want to skip to the conspiracies right now, it should be on the screen. Without further ado, let's jump in. The Denver airport is the largest airport in the United States. It's almost double the size of the runner-up, the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport, and it ranks second largest in the world. With that size, the airport assists tens of millions of people every year, being one of the most busiest airports in the world, averaging around the third busiest in the United States and fifth in the world. In 2023, 77.8 million passengers were served, which so far is an all-time record. More than 4 million of those passengers were international. As for the company side, more than 280 million pounds of cargo volume traveled through the airport, with 25 different airline companies running flights through. The Denver airport has 161 gates. Now you might be thinking, that sounds overwhelming. As someone who's been through the Denver airport many times, it is. I thank my parents for taking me early in the morning before our flight was even scheduled to take off. Even picking someone up from the airport is extremely confusing. Plus those workers telling you where to go, pointing and whistling passive aggressively. Even though I'm not going to United, I need a pickup from Frontier. The Denver airport was opened in 1995, and the airport itself offered up more than 40,000 jobs to residents of Colorado, making it the largest employer of Denver. And because of that and how much traffic goes through Denver, Denver's economy is in great shape, and it benefits the rest of the state. The Denver airport's design is also pretty eye-catching, both the interior and exterior. People will be able to easily identify the Denver airport because of the unique design. Curtis Fentress created the design with only a couple weeks. Curtis was given the project by the city of Denver. This was after an unfavorable design was in the works. They had already gone over budget and over schedule, and the city was hoping for a building as symbolic as it would be functional. And luckily, when they found Curtis, they were able to accomplish this. The design was originally a warehouse type design. Think Costco or Sam's Club, but like much bigger. This gave it a maze-like structure that wasn't suitable for passengers, and it also wasn't pretty. That's why Denver turned to Curtis, who had the idea to get rid of all the metallic roof and replace it with fabric. And at the time, this was the largest fabric ceiling ever made, making it extremely notable. This also saved lots of money and time. With the construction being already late, the fabric helped reduce construction by almost 9 months. And with cheaper material than metal, it would save the city of Denver a lot of money in the long run. Not only because of the material, but also because the fabric allowed outside light to come in, while keeping out the heat. This is important because Denver usually averages around 300 days of sunlight. Later on, solar panels would be added to aid in funds and create an even better economical option for power. It is predicted that the fabric would save around $115 million in construction, and the airport is notorious for the look, constantly being voted as one of the best airports from surveys like American Institute of Architects that voted the airport as number 4 in favorite American architect. Business Traveler magazine voted the Denver airport as the best airport in the United States for 4 years in a row, between 2005 and 2008, and all the acknowledgement is deserved, as the Denver airport has been designed to be one of the most economical, sustainable airports nationwide. Inside the Denver airport holds many pieces of art from many different local artists and organizations. In fact, it is a staple for the airport, as the Denver airport frequently rotates the art. The developers actually have to put 1% of major capital projects to public art in the city, and you yourself can actually go online and submit a request to get the ball rolling to present your art in the building. The airport shows off many different types of artworks, from ceramics, music, paintings, patchwork, murals, glasswork, and structures. You can't even look up or down without seeing artwork. You can't even enter the airport without seeing a 32-foot sculpture. And while airports are meant for traveling, you could probably just go to Denver airport, get drunk, and then walk around and look at the art. What makes me extremely interested in the Denver airport's artwork is the mysticism within it all. This mysterious feeling comes from people who have created conspiracy theories based off some of the artworks that can be seen. In 2016, Heath Montgomery talked about how the CEO and himself thought about all the conspiracies that began to spawn. They held a museum-style exhibit for these theories where people can place their artwork. And within this exhibit, you can find paintings which theorists have said show off secret societies and the apocalypse. Now, I don't know if it's smart to add fuel to the fire of conspiracy theorists, but the marketing strategy did what it was supposed to do, as many different sites and news outlets began to talk about the Denver airport, kind of like what I'm doing right now. The 32-foot sculpture I mentioned earlier is also part of these conspiracy theories. Lucifer, or the Blue Mustang, or the Demon Horse, is a blue horse that everyone sees when entering the airport. Now, theories have spawned off this because of the eyes of the horse, as well as the history behind it, as the sculpture itself would actually kill its creator, Luis Jimenez, and apologies if I butchered that. A part of the sculpture would come loose, and then it would pin Lewis against a support beam that would sever his artery. Today, the towering blue horse is a staple for the Denver airport and the artworks inside. So let's talk about that horse sculpture some more. Lucifer is a 32-foot tall, blue-shaded, glowing red-eyed horse, sculpted from polychrome fiberglass. It's noticeable from your plane view coming in or leaving. This unique sculpture has escalated conspiracy theories that have surrounded the Denver airport, because many felt unsettled by the magnificent horse, specifically the red glowing eyes, as many theorists believe it represents the eyes of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And it killed its owner, so... The Blue Mustang was commissioned by the city of Denver for almost $300,000. Luis Jimenez would take almost a decade working on the Blue Mustang. The sculpture was to represent the wild spirit of the West. The original design was meant to be a buffalo, but if you know Midwestern history, they kind of mass murdered all buffalo almost to extinction, so they thought that'd be a bit insensitive. So the Mustang was proposed instead, as it was a symbol of the West and the main use of transport back in the day. The horse itself was based off of Luis's own stallion, Blackjack. And from what I've read, the glowing red eyes were based off of one of two things. Either Luis saw some glowing red eyes one night, only to find out his horse had broken into his house somehow. Or, and more likely, it's because Luis worked with his father in a neon sign shop. Either way of its origin, construction started shortly after commission. However, there are many setbacks along the way. Luis Jimenez had already had some health problems, but within the time of construction he would also have a heart attack as well as need surgery on his hands. With all these setbacks, it led to some legal battles. After missed deadlines, the city of Denver would sue Luis Jimenez for $165,000. Luis countersued, however it was decided that Luis would have to finish the sculpture, but unfortunately he would never be able to do that. After letting the city know that the top part of the three-part sculpture was done, a fatal accident would occur. In 2006, one of the three sections would come loose from the hoist it was held on, pitting Luis against his studio wall, severing an artery in his leg. He would later be pronounced dead at the nearest hospital at the age of 65. Luis's family and friends contemplated whether they should destroy the sculpture or just not finish it in general. Yet they decided to honor Luis's legacy by finishing the project. With the help of other organizations, including a professional lowrider and race car painters, the Blue Mustang would be unveiled to the public on February 11th, 2008. The off-putting eyes as well as the name Lucifer has caused a lot of controversy, with a Facebook group made specifically to get rid of it. However, for most Colorado residents, it is a piece of artwork they'd like to keep. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Lucifer is just a little bit of fuel for the fire of the conspiracy that surrounds the Denver airport. So with that being said, let's talk about conspiracies. We'll start by diving more into Lucifer. Lucifer, or the Blue Mustang, has spawned numerous conspiracy theories that tie into other theories that the Denver airport is known for. The glowing red eyes is what most theorists focus on, as they say it represents the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The four horsemen of the apocalypse come from Christianity, from the book Revelation, the last biblical book from the New Testament, and is considered apocalyptic literature. One of the four horsemen are interpreted as a conqueror with a bow and a crown, riding a white horse, representing Christ, or the Antichrist. The second, with a great sword and a red horse, symbolizes war and bloodshed. The third carries a balance scale and rides a black horse. He is symbolic of famine. And the fourth simply rides a pale horse and is meant to represent death. In the book of Revelation, the four horsemen of the apocalypse open four of the seven seals that lead to the floods of the apocalypse. When it comes to Lucifer, theorists believe that the eyes represent the horsemen, as the sculpture did kill its creator, Luis Jimenez. This also ties in with other connections to the apocalypse within the Denver airport. However, in reality, the eyes were motivated by the creator's upbringing, as his dad worked on a neon sign store. At least that's the main story going around. Another story is that the horse that motivated the sculpture itself somehow snuck into Luis's house one night, and he would see the glowing red eyes of a horse. At first he was terrified, and then confused when he turned on the light. Either way, Lucifer has been a talking point ever since its reveal in 2008. Theorists have also connected two pieces of artwork found within the Denver airport to the apocalypse. One of the pieces is called Children of the World Dream in Peace by Leo Tanguma, and apologies for butchering that. The image depicts war and death, with a soldier in a gas mask holding a sword and a machine gun. Many theorists focus on the eerie and grim nature of the illustration. However, Leo's intent is to show peace and environmental growth after war and pollution, hence the sleeping children and the rainbow that follows the soldier. Another one of Leo's murals found in the Denver airport has also spawned more conspiracy theories. It is in peace and harmony with nature. Many theorists focus on the eerie nature of the children coming together to mourn three women and animals, as well as depicting a burning background. But again, it seems that Leo is focused on the resurrection of peace and living together in prosperity, even after horrible events occur. And while there are other paintings and murals that theorists have connected to the apocalypse, the last main point many theorists point to is the gargoyles in the baggage claim area. Theorists will have you believe that these are evil spirits, ready to steal all your luggage. However, historically, gargoyles have been known to protect people from evil spirits, and the Denver airport specifically put the gargoyle in the baggage claim to protect passenger stuff as it travels. Now that may be the reason so much luggage gets lost, but at the same time they're in little suitcases, so that's cute. And whether you believe that there's deeper meanings in these artworks or not, the Denver airport has been open to the idea of conspiracy theories for years. Another conspiracy theory that comes from the Denver airport is a secret society or the New World Order. This theory is charged by this time capsule. Many theorists point towards the Masonic crest that features so prominently. The Freemasons are a whole feast for conspiracy theorists, as they are a century-old secret society with pretty high-powered members. Have y'all ever heard of George Washington or Henry Ford? And while the Freemasons are a real thing, there is no evidence in their involvement in the Denver airport. But then again, I'm saying that while wearing this, so. Theorists have also pointed towards the New World Airport Commission, which sounds a lot like the New World Order. Theorists say that this organization never existed, stating that this is actually the New World Order, but they just went by a different name. However, the New World Airport Commission was actually a thing, but only for a little bit. The commission was named and created by Charles, and apologies, I'm going to butcher this one too, Ansbacher. Charles named the commission after the New World Symphony, as he was a conductor for a symphony, and the commission was created to orchestrate and promote the Denver International Airport's opening, as well as the festivities that came with it. This was the reason it didn't last that long, because it was only there for the opening. And within that time capsule, it just contains coins, a signed opening day ball from Coors Field, Mayor Wellington's web sneakers, and a few Black Hawk casino tokens, and some other items. Nothing about those items screams secret society to me, unless those sneakers allow you to talk to like interdimensional beings.
What? Bro, what are you talking about?
While the time capsule is what theorists focus on for the New World Order and secret societies, they also bring up the underground bunkers and aliens that have been allegedly involved with the Denver airport. Hidden beneath the Denver airport are a multitude of different tunnels, and under all of those are supposedly bunkers that can hold billionaires and so-called elite in case of an apocalypse. On top of that, there is supposedly proof of lizard people and aliens in those tunnels. When construction took place at the Denver airport and went over schedule by more than a year, and supposedly construction workers saw entrances of tunnels and bunkers that weren't in the original blueprints. There's also a huge baggage system planned and constructed as such. However, that system failed, leading to extra hallways and tunnels that have never been occupied. And the most concrete evidence so far, a little drawing of an alien, and some blurry footage of lizard people.
A little bit. And
there are 100,000 square feet, with more than 1,000 employees who work daily in the underground area of the Denver airport. There are numerous instances of the graffiti in the underground area, obviously Mr. Alien here, but also smiley faces and I'm sure perfectly appropriate organs. By the way, if you didn't know, a penis is considered an organ. That's why I said appropriate organ, because I'm talking about it. Anyway, some employees who work underground have supposedly run with the theory of lizard people, purchasing cheap masks and making videos around the airport, as well as employees hanging up signs saying don't enter, lizard people are working. As for the secret tunnels and bunkers, roughly 7,000 feet of tunnels run alongside the underground train system that Denver Airport has. The Denver Airport was built specifically to be able to add more, as well as upgrading it through the years. At first, the underground train system wasn't even a thing when the airport opened. And on top of all of this, tours have been taken, and in those tours people have said all plumbing and electrical work stop at the bottom floor, which would make the layers underneath an engineering miracle. So of course, these are just crazy theories. Unless lizards and aliens don't need our plumbing, let alone electricity. The final prominent conspiracy theory that comes out of the Denver airport isn't a fun one, so I'm not going to go too much in detail about it. Also, because of social media guidelines, I'm going to be calling the bad guys from World War II Yahtzees. Alright, this last conspiracy involves secret Yahtzees facilities hidden within the Denver airport. The main evidence that supports this is the scope of how large the underground area of the airport is, making people speculate that the Yahtzees seek refuge under there. There's also conspiracies about underground tunnels and bunkers, which adds on to this theory, as well as the aerial view of the Denver airport's runway. Supposedly it looks like the symbol of the Yahtzee party, but that's about the only connection. Now I want to make this obvious, the US is not afraid to work with the Yahtzees, just look up Operation Paperclip. But the Denver airport is the largest in the United States, so of course it's going to have a lot of underground space. They also have an underground train system which needs tunnels to maintain the trains. And the aerial photo just seems like a reach to me. Like I definitely see it, and if I ever grow up to design runways, I probably would avoid that. But also, what would the purpose be? But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's Yahtzees, lizard people, aliens, and secret societies having a party in an underground bunker right now. There's a lot of smaller conspiracies and details that I've left out that connect to these broader theories. However, I've talked about the main ones, so if you want to look more into it, you can. As always, my links are in the description. Hello everyone. When I've been editing this video, a new video came out on the Red thread about the Denver airport. It's about an hour and 30 minutes long, so if you want a more in-depth look at it, I'll link it in the description. Alright, I think I'm done with this because it's pretty itchy and surprisingly sweaty. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Here's a picture of Gonzo. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. It really does help with exposure and I really do appreciate it. If you like weird topics, you might be interested in subscribing. Alright, bye.